detect a number of potential risks or also benefits. So what we want to know for sure is we want to see where do viruses pop up in which people, in which regions. We want to see whether there's a correlation between certain virus subtypes, variants, or mutants that you might call them, and the course of the disease. Some of them might cause mild disease. Some of them might cause more severe disease, as we already had some reports. But we're also interested in do genomic surveillance, and that's what I will come to in a minute, to actually look at the genomes, because we want to know whether there's viruses that also evade the detection by specific diagnostic tests that are used broadly nowadays, both at the antigen level or at the genome level, at the RNA level. We for sure also want to know, for example, whether there's decreased susceptibility of these virus strains to biological therapeutics. You all heard these prominent examples of people receiving monoclonal antibody cocktails, like the US president, for example, that fared very well with these cocktails. And it might be that some of those antibodies might not be efficient or not as efficient to certain virus substrains that are popping up. And the same is true also for virus strains that we want to identify that potentially evade acquired immunity, both through vaccine.
Ralph, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but your voice is echoing.
Okay. Actually, I need to check, but I have no other channels open, I guess.
What is? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we need to try. And so it's interesting also to know whether we see a response in terms of the different viruses to these tests and to these measures. So next slide, please. So what we currently would do in kind of classical diagnostic approaches you all are familiar with, I think, is PCR, so polymerase chain reaction. One can do this quantitatively, very accurately, very sensitive, by either very small machines or by super high integrated high throughput machines. But the problem with this technology is that we do not detect new variants, so we have to exactly know what we're looking for, and we can only scale up to a couple of thousand samples, even on the bigger machines, realistically, because basically you would run always the very same full process for every single sample. So basically it's just a multiplexing by parallelization of the individual reactions. So the information content is limited, and the scaling up is super highly expensive because you need very big machines, a lot of reagents, and so on and so forth, in order to analyze thousands of samples. So on the next slide, what we see as an option, and that's why we started exploring and using these technologies, is both for diagnostic purposes, but particularly for genome sequencing, obviously, is using new genomics approaches, particularly next generation sequencing, or in the future, even single molecule sequencing. I think Lucy has or will talk about nanopore technology that allows a multiplexing at the molecular level. So basically we add molecular barcodes so that we can pool thousands, up to even 100,000 of samples for the actual analytical step, the sequencing in this case, for one analytical run, one analysis. So what we can do here is we can do...
I thought it is there.
We can do whole genome analyses, and we can also do detect or targeted analyses for diagnostic purposes. So on the next slide, or the next three slides,
keep one extra all the time.
You already briefly heard, I think, about the efforts that we undertake. So we do genomic sequencing or whole genome sequencing using next generation sequencing, and we're going to start also using single molecule technologies in a couple of days. So this allowed us to detect not only the known variants, so kind of the British variant or the Brazilian variant, and as in this case, for the first time in Switzerland, but we also constantly detect new variants among the about approximately 5% of possible sequence. So that's kind of the general approach. On the next slide, you see a sort of alternative approach that we take. So basically we do sample and whole genome sequence wastewater. So after a quite sophisticated enrichment protocol, we can also do whole genome virus sequencing in wastewater samples. And this allows us to identify and genome characterize the respective viruses before we actually have concrete patients showing up in clinics and getting tested. Because obviously someone infected, or particularly when you have multiple people infected, they shed virus already into the wastewater. And in the wastewater, we see before people show symptoms, or particularly if people have no symptoms, which is the case for quite a number of people infected with the virus, we can detect the virus in the wastewater sample. And we showed this for the British variant, showing up in Switzerland in a ski resort, basically 2 weeks before the first patient identified himself or herself in the clinics with symptoms, and getting a personal test that then confirmed the respective results. So basically, we can use this as an early indicator of virus spreading and certain virus type spreading by analyzing the wastewater. So on the last slides that I'm going to show to you, what you see here is now the approach that we take for diagnostic using use of sequencing. And what we basically do is we take a single cell RNA-seq protocol, and we use the massive potential for parallelizing and multiplexing reactions of this single cell RNA-seq protocol. So basically, we treat every patient as a single cell RNA subspecies or type by adding molecular barcodes again, so that we can use barcoding at yet another layer or at another dimension, basically, which allows us to do the sequencing reaction afterwards for identifying certain virus fragments for diagnostic purposes, as I said, by hundreds of thousands. Basically, the capacity for doing the test as such is no longer limited. Using latest sequencers, we could even run basically millions of tests per week. The problem there is obviously the upstream logistical challenge. So how to actually collect all these samples and how to do kind of the logistics to bring the samples to a single point of analysis. But the technology is there. The capacity is almost unlimited. And as already mentioned, the big advantage of using genomics in such a context is that we generate much more information than what we would do with normal diagnostic purposes or diagnostic methods available so far. Okay. So all the different other aspects I think Lucy has already talked about will probably also be around if you have any questions or if you want to know more about the methods that we have applied here. And I will leave you with that and leave the final words to Lucy then. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thanks a lot, Ralph.
Bye.
Thank you very much. So with this joint presentation, we would like to really thank the great collaboration with Swissnex and with CCamp. I think it's been really an incredible opportunity and an honor to teach this course and organize, and it's been great to work with both institutions. And I'd like to thank my colleagues at the Functional Genomics Center, especially the people in the genomics team, as they have done an excellent job with the virus surveillance, and that's one of the ongoing projects that is going on. And to Ralph, really, to present and take his time. Thank you very much. Good.
Thank you, Lucy. So Sheetal requested me to take over. So hello, everyone. I'm Maitri. I'm head of university partnership at Swissnex India. So I think part of the participants who did with Lucy and her colleagues the 4-day course, and some we have also new guests today joining for this lecture. So maybe I can happy to give, if you have anybody has quick questions, we possibly can take 1 or 2 quick questions for Lucy or Ralph. Meanwhile, I also want to remind just that Lucy was going to post a link or a QR code while I move along with the rest of the discussion for the voting of the best presentations done during the last 4 days. Lucy, is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so maybe right now I will quickly move to Taslim and request him to say a few words about the collaboration and how we started the first discussion between Ralph, me, and you in 2019.
Yes.
Tasleem, you are there? Yeah.
Me? Is it me?
Tasleem.
Tasleem.
Hi, thanks,
That's good.
Maitri. No, thank you. Thank you so much, Maitri and others at Swiss Next, as well as colleagues from the FGCZ that would be, which is working phenomenal work in terms of functional genomics in Zurich and something that we have planned. I missed out to, possibly say that, but I'm just looking at the numbers and 100 people for a genomics course and then learning more about the larger component. While for the special lecture today is a phenomenal number, and it indicates when two countries' expertise and the thought of bringing the capabilities together and look at larger picture is a very exciting proposition. And as we see in the current times of pandemic, we all realize that the genomics has a long role to play as we go forward in many ways, not only in research, but also in terms of biomedical and healthcare component. So it's fantastic to see this, and congratulations to everyone, including phenomenal work done by Maitri, who ran this entire thought when we built this and make it work. Of course, because of pandemic, we couldn't meet in person. That was the original plan, but I hope we come back on the original plan. Uh, when we look at the larger picture in terms of the India, one of the important thing we want to do is that skill India in terms of high-end technology platforms. And this is true partnership between India and Switzerland to leverage the expertise from one center to another and bring something together which can form the base for long-term collaborations. I just wanted to say that what is next for us as a group? What is next for us? What kind of canvas we want to grow together? What kind of propositions we want to build? And one thing I wanted to say is that futuristically, can this platform for largely, while we could look at it from a genomics perspective, could actually give us an indication of expert groups in terms of training, in terms of functionalities, in terms of supporting the cross-border preparedness for healthcare interpretation, many other aspects. Can we have those components built in, which actually can go a long way in taking Indo-Swiss collaborations and its potential impact in a way. I would like to possibly close down by saying that this is a truly something that CCAM strongly believes in. For last more than 10 years, CCAM has extensively worked in technology platforms and built in a capability for training, services, and technology development. And this is true good partnership for us from the larger FGCZ that we Functional Genomics Center at Zurich. It actually works together. So we are very happy to do it. We'd like to take it forward. I would like also to thank my colleagues here, Sheetal, Atif, and others who actually run and played the entire capabilities on the ground at CCAM too. I'll stop here, but again, I thank Swissnex, my colleagues at FGCZ and at CCAM, of course, to make this possible. But we would like to do something next level next time. And for this, until next, see you soon. Thank you. Over to you, Maitri. She's possibly not there.
Yeah. Thank you, Tasleem, for your remarks. And I would request Maitri to go ahead. I think there is a connection issue. Hello, Maitri.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Tasleem. I think it was, and now I will quickly invite Sebastian Hook, our CEO and Consul General, to say a few words.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone again, and hello, Taslim. Good to see you virtually this time. Thank you, Maitri, for giving me the word. I will keep it very, very short. And first of all, I wanted to congratulate both partners, the Function Genomics Center in Zurich and CCAM, to put this together, of course, with Maitri and Aparna's help. But I think it's really great to see that turning into something very, very tangible. And so very much looking forward to see building on that. So big congrats and thank you. Just 2-3 things, I think, from my side a little bit. How can you stay engaged with us, with Swissnex? And I actually will put in the chat now a few links, and allow me to do a little a promotion on different projects that we have been working on recently. So one way to stay engaged, we have created a platform, Next Trends Asia, which kind of focuses on bilateral projects, research innovation projects between India and Switzerland and other Asian countries. So we're always looking for contributors. So if you have any ideas, if you like to write on trends in science, technology, and innovation here in India, do reach out to us. And otherwise, I very much invite you to actually sign up for the monthly digest of those articles. Just yesterday, actually, we have launched a platform called COVID-SciComm, which looked at the impact of COVID. You just talked about it, the COVID-19, on science communication. So how has this pandemic changed the way we communicate about science from scientist perspectives, from science journalists, but also science communicators in the universities. We have run a survey here in India, Switzerland, and the US. Have run a few stories about it, and so do check this website out. I think it provides some really interesting insights. This platform here is actually an excellent example of how we can engage virtually. And our belief is that even when hopefully soon the pandemic is over, we can further build up on those experiences with the digital world. Of course, we hope to have again Swiss visitors here in Bangalore, but I think these kind of platforms, actually virtual platforms, should be continued in one way or another, should be further developed as they really create another alternative of engaging scientists and innovators in India and Switzerland. So we have actually published a report on how to do that, how as an institution you can push for that. And Maitri actually has also been spearheading another report on the different collaboration models between India and Switzerland, and I guess Europe in general. What to look for, what makes a good collaboration, so here also, like I've shared that report which we have released last year. So all topics which are, I think, very much relevant also to this kind of audience and community, and so really would like to invite you to go and check this out. I think I leave it at that. Maybe one more project which hasn't been launched yet, but will be launched in about 3 weeks, I think, which is very relevant to you all. We will launch a website called research.swiss, and this will be a website with all the funding opportunities, funding instruments for bilateral collaboration, research and innovation between Switzerland and basically the world, so outside of Europe. So there will be also different instruments available for collaboration with India and Switzerland. So do check that out on our website. The website will be called research.swiss and will be launched in about 3 weeks. So with that, back to you, Maitri.
Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, Taslim. I think now is, I think, the big time. So I will actually give the word to Lucy, who did the course, maybe just to share her overall experience, and also that this is the time to announce the winners.
Yes, so I've sent you actually the winners from the poll that we run. So you can announce them, but I'd just like to say that thank you, Maitri and Sheetal. It has been great to work with you. It's been a really incredible experience, and both Weichel and I have really enjoyed ourselves very much. And yeah, and we hope we can continue collaborating. And this online format has also been quite good as well. So it's been really good fun as well. So maybe at some other point we can do something presential, and it would be great to meet you. So I think for the winners, I've sent a list to Maitri, and you can announce them. And just to say that we had great presentations. I mean, from the second, third, and fourth day. So there's no presentation the first day, of course, but the second, third, and fourth day has been really good presentations. And I would like to thank everybody that presented, and from also assisting at the extra sessions where we explained the exercises. So I hope that was good for everybody. And I hope the information is good for everyone. So please, Maitri, you announce the results.
Sure. Thank you, Lucy. So the vote for public winner goes to Ankurita Sharma. A big hand of applause for Ankurita. Ankurita, would you like to come online? Are you there? I cannot see Ankurita yet. And from Functional Genomics Center, Zurich, they have chosen a winner based on the assignment is Divyesh Upadhyay. Again, a big round of applause for Divyesh. Divyesh, you there?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you for selecting me. Thank you very much.
Maybe you can quickly say a few words. How was your experience? What was special?
Yeah, actually, for me, especially is like very much like, because I'm doing this PGTM on embryos, and I'm planning to do this whole exome sequencing. So I'm very much like interested in this course. So I was in regular touch with Dr. Sheetal and CCAM team to please provide me to include in this course, because I'm very much interested. And the last moment I got the opportunity, and I gone through all this like presentation, how to do annotate the variants is very informative for me. Thank you very much for this to attend me for this course. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Divyesh. Maybe just a few quick announcement. I think there were questions about the certificate. So we would like to take a week's time to send you the certificate. So as you can see, it's March end for all of us. So yeah, so please bear with us. Yes, you will receive a certificate as promised. Secondly, please feel free to, actually, we will really request you to add some on the feedback. Lucy, can you kindly put the feedback link once more so that you can share such details. I'd also additionally like to mention that, yes, it was a joint program between Functional Genomics Center Zurich and CCAM, but both the platforms organize also multiple training. Most are in-person training, so do take a look at their websites, the kind of interesting training they're planning over the next 1 year, and we will be happy to connect if in case there are some questions on eligibility and others. So you can write to both me or Sheetal in this regard. So with this, and we have a small prize for the winners, which you will, it's just a token prize. You will receive the small voucher. It's more a service voucher, which you can get at CCAM for your future sequencing work. So you will receive it from Sheetal again in next 1 week. So yeah, so do keep in touch with us. And with this, I would like to once again thank Lucy, Ralph, Sheetal, Tasleem, and all other colleagues who have been part of organizing this session, and of course to the participants who have gone through the course very diligently over last 4 days. So thank you all, and please do keep in touch. Bye. Sheetal, you would like to?
Yeah, thank you all again to be the part of this course, also as a part of this event. Thank you everybody at the Functional Genomics Center, Swissnex and CCAM. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Sorry about this. Thank you again. Thanks for your patience and listening to us. And thank you again, everybody. Good day. We'll end this session. Thank you again.
Sheetal, this is Aparna. Very well moderated and conducted. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a team effort, of course, from Functional Genomics Center, Swissnex, and CCAM. Thanks again.
We look forward to working with you. Take care. Bye.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Bye,
Please
Lucy.
write to us. Write
Thank
to
you.
us if you need anything with the collaboration or anything. Please do write to us. Thank you.
Just to mention one thing for those that took the course for the questionnaire, it's not working. Just give me 10-15 minutes to sort it out. So, and get into the Moodle, right? So give me some time. So I'll disconnect from the Zoom and get it sorted. Okay. And I'd like to thank you all for.
Thank you and have a good weekend, everybody.
Same to
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye. Bye.
Bye.